Welcome to the Soulcery Podcast, your sacred space to delve into spiritual tools, topics, and practices that will illuminate your path of soul remembering and healing. I'm your host, Lígia Costa, a soul guide, alchemist, soul writing coach, and the creator of the Trust Pathway. I'm deeply grateful to have you here with me. Together, we will embark on a profound exploration of self-discovery and healing, unlocking the secrets that lie within. Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to the first episode of 2024 of the Soulcery Podcast. I'm your host, Lígia Costa, and today we will delve into a topic that has woven through the fabric of our lives from childhood to adulthood, and that is the notion of fairness. And I find this to be a very interesting topic because we know that life is not linear. And life's twists and turns often challenge our perception of what we consider to be fair and unfair. And this very belief can lead us down a path of struggle and resistance. And so, with the beginning of a new year and with the desire of having better intentions for our life and for our health and for our relationships and our career paths and even our self-development, I find it's really important to understand why sometimes we struggle to align with the flow of life, why we struggle to set our life in motion, and why sometimes we are in this hamster wheel, doing all the things, running around, ticking all the boxes, and sometimes we give one step forward and we move 2 steps back. And it feels so unfair that we are doing all these things and nothing seems to work. And as a child, I remember feeling the weight of what I thought was unfair. Whether it was my sister getting away with her mischiefs and I was the one getting blamed for it, and the uneven distribution of privileges where she always managed to get the things that she wanted and she asked for and I didn't. No matter how much I tried, things never seemed to come easily to me. And I remember life didn't always play by the rules that I had set in my young mind. What I felt was fair because in my young mind I was the eldest, so I thought I should have more privileges. And because I behaved well and I was doing well in school, I also thought that I was doing everything that I could in my power to prove that I deserved certain things that I asked for and more love and attention from my parents. And things almost never worked out that way. And I just felt it was really unfair. And as I grew older and into adulthood, I brought this belief with me. I always seemed to be in this place of comparison, comparing my life with other people, comparing what I was doing and not achieving with what I perceived other people were doing and achieving. And even my reality manifested that way. When I lost my first baby, and I lost it because I had an ectopic pregnancy, and the midwife at the time said that there is a probability of 1 in 100 pregnancies to suffer from ectopic pregnancy. And I felt it was so unfair that I was the one in those 100 pregnancies. Why me? Why did it have to be me? And why did it have to be my baby? And then as I delve into the possible causes of having an ectopic pregnancy, I didn't tick any of those boxes. I was healthy. I didn't understand why I had to go through that. And so this kind of experiences in my life just affirmed to me that it doesn't matter if you're healthy, it doesn't matter that you play by the rules. It doesn't matter that you work hard or that you're honest. Life is unfair. And I know that I'm not alone in this. And then years later, when I started to work on my spiritual journey, I learned that the problem with thinking that life is unfair lies in this expectation that if we do everything right, life will unfold as it should. And that we place our hopes on external factors. And we normally think that when I achieve this, when I have that, then everything will be good. Then everything will fall into place. Then I will feel fulfilled or successful or loved. But where do we stand when it doesn't happen like that? And what happens is that we often turn the blame inwards. We believe that something must be very wrong with us, that we are the problem. If everyone else is doing things by the book, or not everyone is doing things by the book, but life seems to bless them anyway, so then the problem is us. And the strong emotion that runs this belief that life is unfair is blame, is that we are not good enough. And the mistake that we then make is that we try to fix ourselves to fit in the societal expectations in order to align with a version of ourselves that we think will be accepted. But in doing so, we end up aligning our lives with fear, with the fear of being rejected, with the fear of being abandoned, and the fear of losing control of our lives. And when we are in this place of trying to fit in out of fear because we feel life is unfair, no matter what we do, because we are the problem is within us, we then fail to realize that by trying to conform to what society expects or what we perceive to be fair, we are actually straying further and further from our soul essence and from our soul's path. And the belief that then runs our lives is that I'm not right the way I am. I'm the problem. And this constant striving to meet all these external standards will only prevent us from aligning with our true selves. We just can't. We just can't align with our true selves if we are trying so hard to be somebody else. So life is a bit more fair to us. But the truth is, life is perfectly imperfect. There is no such thing as perfection. We are not perfect, and that's okay, because life isn't perfect either. Life is mysterious. Life is unpredictable. And at times, it's unexplainable. And that's why we witness the wars that are in the world and people going to jail, and it's not their fault. Sometimes we can't explain why these things happen because life is not perfect. And our role as soul beings navigating this human experience is not to control or understand life. That's not what we are here for. And if we try to control life and understand life and why things are not fair, we are going to drive ourselves crazy. That's not the point of us being here. Our role is to consciously choose our alignment, consciously make choices that align with our soul, with what feels right to us and what feels true to us and what makes us happy. And then to let go, just to let go of the outcome. Our role is to be present in the moment, not stuck in the past or worrying about the future. And is to allow these natural ebbs and flows to unfold by honoring all cycles of life, all cycles of nature, and our own cycles as we age and as we evolve as both human beings and soul beings. And is surrendering to trust in the face of struggles and acknowledging when fear is trying to creep in, and then letting go. Because life always mirrors to us the cycles of nature. And if you look around in nature, you'll see how the seasons reflect our own natures as human beings. The birth is the spring, the death is the winter, growth, summer, transformation, autumn. We go through these cycles. We know that we are born and we grow and we transform as we age, and then we'll die. And accepting these cycles is so important so that we can find balance and find gratitude and love for our surroundings, for the environments and the relationships and the career paths and everything that surrounds us. And because we tend to feel that life is personally punishing us, we struggle to flow with life. We struggle to accept these cycles. Because when we are in this victim archetype or this child archetype where you feel everything is unfair, imagine a child making a tantrum and is stomping his feet and saying, "It's not fair. You are punishing me and it's not fair. It wasn't me." That's what we do to life because we feel like life is punishing us. But life is simply flowing. It's simply moving through these cycles. And your power doesn't come from resisting these cycles and these changes, but from aligning with life's challenges, no matter what. And it hurts. Yes, it's painful. I remember how painful it was to lose that baby. It was our first baby. It was so desired. It was so planned. We were so happy. And we were young and so full of hope. And we didn't understand why. Why us? And it didn't feel fair. And it was really, really heartbreaking. And it's okay to feel all of this. It's okay to feel the pain. Actually, I advise you to honor those emotions because they are valid. It's not by pushing these emotions away and these feelings away that you will suddenly accept life and accept these challenges. It's actually by honoring your emotions and understanding that what you feel is absolutely valid and it is painful, that you then come to acceptance. And you then understand that life is just flowing and no matter what happens and how painful it is happening for us, not to us. And so balancing intention with surrendering control empowers you to navigate life with more authenticity because you are able to recognize when to take action that is aligned with your soul essence and recognize when to trust the natural flow of life rather than resist it. So embrace the wisdom that life's beauty lies in its imperfections, and aligning with it brings true harmony and fulfillment. Perhaps losing that baby was the thing that propelled me to be a good mom, to be a better mom. Maybe I appreciated that having a baby is not as simple as perhaps we think. We grew up playing with dolls and creating this imaginary world that we are moms and we have babies and it's that easy. And maybe we take for granted that our female disposition to birth, it's a given. And perhaps losing that baby that is always in our minds, I'll never forget it. But losing that pregnancy just made me appreciate my other pregnancies much more and not taking it for granted. And then as I appreciated and fell into the gratitude of this blessing of birthing a new life, also made me appreciate being a mother much more and being a better mother than perhaps I needed when I was a child, and not making the same mistakes my own mother did with the experiences and the knowledge that she had at the time. And so made me decide to break the cycle and be a good mother. So when I reflect on this, I can find the blessing there, and I can find why this happened for me and not to me. And then I can move from the child archetype of feeling this is not fair to the sovereign archetype of trusting in the process of life and knowing that is nothing wrong with me, that I am enough. And then to have that deep desire to make a difference in the world by breaking the cycle for my future generations. Before I love you and leave you, I will pull a card from the Trust Journaling deck. Oh my god, I love this. So the card that I pulled is from the Thrive Suite. Again, the Thrive Suite is the last stage of the trust pathway, and it's when we connect with our soul essence and our soul desires, and we manifest and co-create the life that we desire. And the soul inquiry is, what does trust look like, feel like? What does trust look like and feel like? And the affirmation is, I trust the process. Oh my God. I was just saying that when we move from the child archetype that feels that life is not fair and we feel so fragile and tend to blame others for what happens in our lives, and we doesn't feel seen or heard or understood, and we struggle so much to trust in others and trust life. And then we move to the sovereign archetype where we feel that we are enough no matter what happens in our lives, and we have strong self-belief and we feel confident and we trust in the process of life. And the affirmation that came out was, I trust the process. This couldn't be much more on point. So if you feel called to, journal on this soul inquiry about what trust looks and feels like to you. And affirm to yourself that you trust the process of life. No matter how painful it feels, because it feels painful at times, honor your emotions. Because they are valid, your feelings are valid. Just honor and sit with them, allow them to be expressed, but then trust the process. Move from the child archetype to the sovereign archetype that you have within you. That is your golden aspect. It's part of who you are as well. Thank you so much for joining me today on this exploration of the life cycles and the power of aligning with our soul essence. And don't forget to embrace the imperfections and to surrender to trust, because when you do, it's so much easier to flow with life rather than swim against the tide. Because that is living in resistance to change. And when you resist change and you resist how life unfolds, you are actually resisting your own soul essence. I hope this episode helped you to put things into perspective and perhaps disrupt a belief and maybe propel you to think about your own life experiences and how you move through accepting those life experiences. And if there is still something in your life that requires acceptance so that you can move through with the flow of life. If it helped, please let me know. Review this podcast, rate it if you can. Reach out on social media or by email. Let me know if this helped in any way. And I will see you on the next one. Thank you for listening to the Soulcery Podcast and for holding space for this conversation. It is truly magical to be able to walk with you on this journey of soul healing and inner transformation. If you resonated with this episode and found it valuable, I would be grateful if you could leave a review on iTunes. Your feedback helps me reach more souls searching for guidance and healing. For more guidance and soul wisdom to support soul awakening women through the journey of alchemy, please visit my website www.ligiacosta.co.uk. Love and healing to all. See you on the next one.